What's up, guys? It's your boy Shannon, and
what's that?
Back at it again with another reaction videos for you guys today.
This one's weird.
And this one's very weird, man. I just stumbled across this thing, man. Top 10 youngest moms of all time. That's really weird. Really
what do you think
nasty.
the youngest is gonna be?
How possible can it be? 5 years old?
8. I think the youngest is gonna be 8.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's a baby having a baby. Go ahead, let's play.
All right, y'all.
Ask any pregnant woman,
Make sure y'all follow our social media and subscribe and like this video.
and she'll tell you that growing another living being inside your body takes its toll. This fact holds doubly true if said mother is only a child herself. No, not 16 and pregnant. Try preteen and pregnant. There
Nasty.
is a girl in this video older than 10. To destroy your faith in
What is
humanity,
that?
we give you the top 10 youngest mothers of all time. Number 10. Leila Murphy. This list is ordered by age at which young mothers gave birth. But if it was set by the level of depravity, then Leila Murphy would be right at number 1. Leila from Iran was
pretty
only
eyes.
8 years old when her own brothers started paying their mother for the chance to have sex with her. Yes, you heard that right. Leila's mother didn't just know
That is nasty. That is straight
Oh
disgusting.
my gosh.
her sons were abusing their sister. She charged them money for the privilege. I can't even process the level of disgusting that is. To make matters worse, that's even
Some
possible.
nasty people out here.
Leila suffered from a developmental disability, being assessed as mentally the age of 8 at 19. Leila was only 9 years old when her first child was born, twins following when she was 14. Her brothers were caught and flogged for their crimes. Leila, on the other hand, was sentenced to death for illegal sex and incest. Thank God a lawyer from Amnesty stopped the execution and finally got Leila the help she needed. Number 9. Daphne. On January 27th, 2013, a beautiful baby girl was born via cesarean section. She weighed 5.7 pounds and was approximately 19 inches long. By all accounts, this was a perfectly normal, healthy child. There was just one tiny difference. Her mother, known only as Daphne, was 9 years old.
Gosh, how?
Daphne's parents claimed they didn't report the unusual and alarming pregnancy because the father was Daphne's 17-year-old boyfriend. Apparently, they saw that as a perfectly okay
what?
consensual relationship.
No,
At first,
her-
it looked like a case of
Her boyfriend was
her
17.
boyfriend was 17 years old, so her parents didn't report it because they were in a relationship. That is wildly inappropriate.
extremely bad judgment on her
That's
parents'
a high
part.
schooler.
The more people dug
That's
into the
an
story,
adult.
the worse it got. Police couldn't seem to find the supposed boyfriend, and when they separated her from her parents, Daphne was adamant that the father of her child was actually her own 56-year-old father. Classy, huh? For God knows
Oh,
what
he
reason,
tricked them.
authorities allowed Daphne and her baby to go home with her parents, and just a warning that they'd frequently be dropping by. Number 8.
Not okay.
That was her
Anna
father?
Precocious puberty is the term for a child who hits puberty earlier than is considered normal. The average age for young boys is somewhere between 9 and 12, while girls will usually begin menstruation around 8 to 11. In the case of Anna Momsy of Switzerland, she
Anna
was only 2
Momsy.
years old when she had her first period.
2 years
crazy
old?
fact ensured that Anna was a frequent flyer with her physician,
What?
Dr. G. Von Haupt.
How?
Not surprisingly, she did everything a little too early, including menopause at 52 and dying at age 75. But perhaps her most well-known achievement was the age at which she became a mother. She was only 8 years, 9 months old when she gave birth to an unfortunately stillborn baby girl. The father of the child was identified as a friend of her father's.
What?
I certainly hope they never allowed him anywhere near Anna again, and that he, went to jail, because that's exactly where a monster like that belongs. Number 7. Hilda
Yeah.
Trujillo. Hilda Trujillo was the daughter of a humble servant. She lived in a one-bedroom house in Peru with several family members, including a 22-year-old cousin who came to live with them when he needed a soft spot to land. Unfortunately, the pig landed right on top of Hilda. At first, her parents suspected nothing, but when the nearly 8-year-old girl became increasingly sick, her mother went to their mistress and begged for help. Doctors were shocked to find that Hilda was already 5 months pregnant. On December 2nd,
How can you not see if her stomach was getting bigger?
Some people
7
don't
months
get
old,
bigger.
Hilda gave birth to a tiny baby girl she named Maria del Rosario. At just over 9 pounds, Maria was delivered a month early, the old-fashioned way, and was a healthy baby,
old-fashioned way.
aside from the age of her mother. As for Hilda's cousin, that creep was tossed in jail, where I hope he spends the rest of his days being nibbled away at by rats. Number 6. Anya. Being unable to stop someone from hurting your child is every good parent's worst nightmare. But that
I'll
nightmare
stop
turned out
somebody.
to be more than just a bad dream for the parents of a little girl in Russia. Little Miss Anya was an early bloomer, hitting puberty at just 7 years old. It wasn't long after that her neighbor, a 13-year-old boy, took a rather pointed and unhealthy interest in the young girl. I think we can all agree that 13 is plenty old enough to know basic rights from wrongs.
True.
It's crazy how they got these fake actors. You get mad at them, but
Her
they're really
family
the real
only
person.
became aware of the situation when Anya really started to show signs of pregnancy. I'd imagine they thought she was just getting a little fat, or maybe she had a tumor. They never expected their little girl to have her own
Tumor?
girl.
That's still not
She
normal.
was 8 years, 7 months old when she gave birth to her daughter in April
Oh
of
my
2000.
gosh.
Number 5. Colombian Girl in 2004. It's not very often that a cop pegs you as a drug smuggler and ends up doing you more help than hurt, but that's exactly what happened to an unnamed girl in Colombia. A passing officer noticed her tight, swollen belly and immediately arrested her and her mother. He expected to find the poor girl stuffed full of bags of cocaine, but not in a million years did he imagine that X-rays would show a much darker story. This innocent child wasn't smuggling drugs at all. Instead, it was discovered that she was already
Is that kind of racist?
Could
2
be.
weeks or 7
Well,
months
Colombia
pregnant.
is known for
7
drugs.
months,
Like,
7
don't they
whole
have like a lot of
months. As it turned out,
drug
she'd been raped
and
by some
gang
poor
stuff?
excuse of a human being while picking up medicine for her sick mother.
What?
The crime was considered too embarrassing for her family to report. On October 11th in 2004, she gave birth at the Mission Hospital. She was 8 years and 5 months old. Her attacker
Gosh.
never faced a single charge. Number 4. Momsy. It can be difficult for us sometimes to understand why other cultures do things the way they do. There are so many different ways to go through life. Different foods we will and won't eat.
Sushi.
And sometimes cultures flat out disagree on what counts as normal. In certain parts of Africa, a chief collecting a harem of young girls is completely par for the course. And there are certainly multiple cultures that practice polygamy involving all ages. But many of us would object to a grown man making an 8-year-old his wife.
I would object.
Regardless of whether or not her
That's
parents
extra
were on board
weird.
with the idea. Yup, a grown man marrying children less than half his age is apparently a thing. Normally, these young girls do not conceive for their husbands until at least their teenage years. But for Momsy, motherhood came at the tender age of 8 years and 4 months. Her daughter also conceived ridiculously early, making Momsy into a grandmother at age 17.
Oh my god.
Number 3. H.
A
Out of all the
17-year-old
girls
grandma.
on our list so far, they share one thing. They have gone through puberty. Each of these girls matured at an unusually young age, some of them incredibly so. But a 6-year-old girl in India, identified only as H,
How is that even
puts herself at an unusual
possible?
place in history
I
for
don't know.
being the only known girl who never actually menstruated before conceiving her first child. H was rushed to the hospital with a distended stomach and abdominal pains. Doctors assumed she had a tumor until their scans revealed she was in fact pregnant. Her baby, a 4-pound girl, was delivered via cesarean section, and despite not having developed much mammary tissue yet, she was still able to nurse her child for a full 9 months. H was only 6 years, 7 months old. The father of her child was never publicly known, nor was any indication given that it was privately known.
How?
But you can bet it wasn't a voluntary kind of situation. Number 2, Elizaveta Goodish. Liza was a few days shy of her 6th birthday when she was rushed to a hospital in Russia to deliver a baby. It came as no surprise to anyone that it was a long, difficult labor. Her hips and birthing channel were not yet fully developed and the baby was basically stuck inside her. But C-sections were considered extremely risky back in 1934. So, in compliance with her parents' wishes and with the help of forceps, Liza's child was eventually dragged from her body. The baby unfortunately died during the process due to lack of oxygen directly related to the length of the labor. Had they been allowed to act more quickly, doctors may have been able to save the child. However, what made this particular case so disturbing was the identity of father of her child. You might be tempted to suspect her dad, but no, it's worse. The subhuman monster who impregnated such a young child was Liza's own 70-year-old grandfather. Number
Oh my
1,
gosh.
Lina Medina.
People are
Lina
messed
Medina
up.
went down in history as the youngest mother of all time. Her parents brought her to the hospital due to a rapidly swelling stomach. Instead of the tumor they expected to find, doctors were shocked to discover that Lina was 7 months pregnant. They literally had to send her to a specialist to double confirm the diagnosis because, you see, Lina was just about halfway over 5 years old. Apparently, she went through puberty somewhere between the ages of 2 and 3, and by age 5, she already had fairly well-developed breasts. Talk about growing up fast. A month and a half after the discovery of her pregnancy, doctors delivered a healthy baby boy via cesarean section. She was just 5 years, 7 months, and 21 days old. Pretty much literally a baby herself having a baby.
When her daughter becomes 20, she'll be 25.
Yep.
That's not
That
even
was back
possible,
in
bro.
May of 1939. The identity of the man who raped her remains a mystery to this day. Hopefully he died a slow, painful death. Were you shocked?
Yeah, that was really weird
I'm
and
depressed.
disturbing, and that's nasty. Yeah, that was really weird.
I'm
bro.
super depressed. Like,
I'm not depressed, but that was nasty.
I'm speechless.
I'm Shannon. Nice to meet you, Speechless. But let me know what y'all thought about that, man, bro. It's dark outside, and that was a weird video, bro. I didn't even know you can get pregnant at 5 years old. How is that even possible, man? But yeah, everybody,
Go watch something happy.
leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you follow our social media and leave your thoughts down below, bro. Alright, y'all. It's Shannon and
What's that?